MNCs are not for me. I interned at Nestle, Morgan Stanley, but none of them, just gave that kind of fulfillment. I do not want to be on the sidelines of things. One framework which we were exposed to very early on at Mesa was the job to be done framework. I, completed that internship with a full-time offer in hand. There was just so much depth and insights that I personally had thanks to my conversations with people that it instantly translated into me landing that internship. And later I got to know there were like about 10,000 applications for that particular role. It's not easy. You will have few sleepless nights. You will be, challenged. There will be multiple deliverables. But one thing I can promise is at the end of the tunnel, you will come out a much, much better and resourceful individual.
Hi, everybody. Today we have Akshita, who was part of our founding cohort at Mesa School. She has joined us for a quick chat about her journey at Mesa and then beyond. Hi, Akshita. Great to have you back on campus.
Great to be back on campus. Thank you, Ankit, for having me here.
Absolutely. What are you up to these days?
So, lots of things are going on. So, after an amazing 1 year at Mesa, I have started my new job as head of operations at BPR Hub. It's been about a month, and I think already the learning curve I've had over there is immense. So, I lead operations, and by operations I mean anything and everything under the wing, from fundraising to your GTM to marketing partnerships. I think everything falls under my purview. The team is lean. The team is very, very early stage startup, so lots to learn, lots to do. So that's what essentially I've been up to, and yeah, I've been on my feet. Quite exciting.
No, I think I've seen your journey at Mesa. I'm personally very excited about how you took this decision and where you're working and the kind of role and opportunities you have currently. And I think you joined a very, very, very early stage startup. While you're calling it head of operations, it almost sounds like a founder office or entrepreneurial residence. Pretty much you're doing or getting a chance to do everything under the sun, supporting the founder, pretty much working with them to get the business to the next stage. So sounds very exciting. We're very happy for you. And thank you again for being here and talking about this journey. Just to take a step back, almost a year ago, maybe 1.5 years ago, when you decided that you wanted to join Mesa, why did you decide that you wanted to, become part of our founding cohort at Mesa?
So about a year back, work was going fine, everything was going great. And, I was seeing that, okay, there's this new school called Mesa School of Business, which has some very exciting courses. So, I went on the website, I remember, and I saw the curriculum, the mock schedule that was there on the website as to how term 1 will look like, how term 2 will look like. And I think that's what struck a nerve, and I thought, okay, these are exactly some of the gaps that I have in my skills right now, and this is what I need to cement. This is what I need to learn, be it being an effective communicator, be it being a better problem solver, or just knowing how to use some of these quantitative tools better. It all felt that, okay, yeah, this feels like the right program. And I think ever since I passed out of my undergraduate program back in 2021, one thing that I knew for sure was MNCs are not for me.
Right.
And I interned at Nestle, Morgan Stanley, but none of them, just gave that kind of fulfillment that I would have desired. And that's when I started working with startups. And I knew for a fact that, okay, startups are where I even see myself working in future. And I think Mesa's program tailored for startups and, equipping you with all the right skills, all the right courses, that just felt, like a true fit. So for that reason, I came here. And besides that, I think wanted to also make new friends, wanted to network, wanted to understand even other journeys, wanted to really broaden my own horizons. So those were two of the top reasons that I felt that, Mesa is the right school for me.
And, you talked about something very interesting where you said that the program was very tailored for startups and
Correct.
You wanted to be in startups, right?
Right.
For the next 5-10 years. Do you think it's important to have that sharp focus? For example, in how we structure the program, what we are focusing on, the kind of students you were surrounded by, like the peer group that you had, all of it, and especially the student community focused completely on startup.
Correct.
Do you think that matters?
So no, I think it makes like a big impact, because even on our WhatsApp groups, that's all we're talking about. We are sharing interesting LinkedIn posts from founders or VCs, or we are sharing insights, or we are talking about what could be the right job for a friend or for a connection. So we are all helping each other out, and it being so startup focused translates into all of us having that mindset, building that muscle that, hey, if I want to be a generalist tomorrow, can I, do I know how to price my product right? Do I at least know the ABCs of sales and marketing? The program will not equip you with the deep level, like it won't make you an expert marketer, but it will give you just the right ingredients to lead marketing if you are joining a startup. And for you to, like, let's say, get it from -1 to 0 and 0 to 1. And then, of course, if you're at a startup, there'll be subject matter experts who'll join you. But essentially, the crux would be that in a startup where there are limited resources, limited bandwidth, how can you lead multiple wings, multiple, verticals, and scale them to a stage where you feel comfortable handing it over?
Got it. No, very interesting. And, just talk to us about maybe 2-3 very specific parts of your experience here at Mesa that in hindsight, you think you enjoyed a lot,
Yeah.
but you also learned a lot from, and are really helping you in what you do right now. Plus also help you through the journey of making the right decision on what you want to do after Mesa.
Got it. So I think one framework which we were exposed to very early on at Mesa was the job to be done framework. And that's the mindset I've adopted for everything. For example, in my startup right now, we are undergoing a branding revamp, or, there are so many things that are happening. And every time I'm so stuck up into, okay, this, that, the technicalities, the micros, I just take a step back and I ask myself, hey, what needs to be done there here? Who are we doing this for? And what's the outcome we are looking at? And I think with just that simple question, so many things get answered. And, again, just coming back to the question, I think those learnings really just help you take anything, from a level where it's non-existent to where, it's in a decent shape, I'll say.
So every student at Mesa goes through a variety of
Right.
formats of programs, right? So there are courses, lectures, there are case studies from startups, there are hackathons, workshops with startups.
Correct.
You guys build your own micro D2C business to get to a few lakhs in revenue. Some of you guys want to build or did try to build your own startups as part of the startup lab. Some of you built, no code products. Some of you actually did internships with startups and VC. So you want to talk about some of those, like maybe the top 2, which you think in hindsight really helped you get to where you are?
Sure. I think very interesting question, actually. I took Mesa as an opportunity to dabble with many things. There was MSL. There was an internship at a VC fund that I did. Then there was a stage where I was actually thinking that, hey, should I go down the startup route, or should I, keep going back to MSL? I've also switched pathways, from VC to marketing to back to VC, then business generalist. So I think, that was also because, I took this year as a very exploratory year as to what I want to do next. And coming to how these experiences really shaped or led up to where am I right now, I think the answer to that would be, number one, coming to MSL, Mesa Startup Lab. How that helped me was it helped me realize a lot of things about my own self. I think as a founder, one of the major things that needs to be in place is your mental resilience. And I think after going through that entire journey alone, I did not have a co-founder or a buddy to, sort of brainstorm. And going through many different ideas for MSL, everything, I realized that, okay, no, I think there's some more learning on my behalf that I, need to do. I need to learn like many different things before I truly feel ready to be a founder. And second, I also felt that, okay, there is some bit of resilience, actually a lot of resilience that I need before I can embark on that journey, because it's not a 2-year game. It's not a 1-year game. You're committing yourself to that for a decade. So I think just having that realization helps you time the different phases of your life better. And, but I think one more realization that I had during the MSL phase was, okay, I'm passionate about sustainability and climate and things which are for the greater good.
Because you were working on an idea in the sustainability domain.
Exactly.
You just went deep, talked to a lot of people in that
Right.
stakeholder, build your own thesis that, it might be a small space right now, but it can become very large.
Exactly. Absolutely. And, it was during that time that I started to go to a lot of climate mixers, climate parties. That's actually a thing that happens here in Bangalore, Hyderabad.
Those are, I'm sure, climate-friendly parties, right?
Exactly. No, so those are climate parties where everyone who wants to make an impact on climate, they all meet and they talk. So those are like platforms for discussions for climate-related ideas. So that's what, like, in the climate world you call as climate parties. So started to like go to a lot of that. Had a chat with so many founders who were working in renewable batteries or sustainable packaging. So sustainable packaging was the idea that I was researching. And I think the more I researched, more I felt bullish that this space will become big. It has to become big given where we are, even as the human race. And secondly, the kind of mandates that the government is putting across. This will become a big thing. So that's when I decided, okay, let me maybe switch gears. Let me maybe look for an internship or a job, let's say, in this particular field. So that's when a position at a climate fund opened up. And, I applied, and it was, I think, a 30-40 minute call, but I had so much conviction about climate. And there were some very basic questions that were asked as to why climate, or what are the verticals that you're passionate about? Why do you think they will become big? But there was just so much depth and insights that I personally had thanks to my conversations with people, that it instantly translated into me landing that internship. And later I got to know there were like about 10,000 applications for that particular role.
For one role.
For that one role, including like some of the more like premier technology schools, B schools, candidates had applied from there.
So depth does matter.
Absolutely. I think that was when I realized that when you have insights, when you have some very meaty insights, you can convince almost anyone as to why you will be a good fit. Me giving a very basic insight that I think construction will blow up, as to me saying, okay, why construction will become big, or, what are some of the drivers, and, so many analogies, which of course, it takes time to build up.
And you were able to spend that time as part of the startup lab, really go deep, really actually, I think you also pivoted on your ideas a few times.
Correct.
But then this allowed you to go really deep into this space. And when you, so you said that, after the first micro D2C business, I think you got a taste of starting something. You said, I now want to be a founder.
Right.
So you tried to be a founder in the startup lab. Then you realized, no, this is not the best time. I need to wait for a bit. But then you realize that you are very passionate about sustainability and climate. So you ended up joining a climate tech VC.
Right.
So at that point, were you thinking of joining VCs more full-time? Was that like I would say a career option in your head that, this could be a option that I should explore? Like, why did you join a VC internship?
So one big reason for that was that I wanted to understand how the space is evolving, which I think as a VC, you can really understand what are the ideas coming up, what's the new technology in the market. You just have that vantage point that you can just understand that space so well. And it was to understand the space. It was also to build that muscle to, be on the other side of the table. I had always been an operator. So maybe being on the other side of the table, seeing how do VCs evaluate good businesses? How do they take bets? Really wanted to understand those things. And it definitely was a career option that I was considering at that time. And in fact, the internship that I was doing, I completed that internship with a full-time offer in hand. But I think somewhere in the middle, I just started feeling that, no, I do not want to be on the sidelines of things. I do not want to research or maybe take bets. There's more that I want to do, which again, was a critical realization personally and professionally. And did some thinking on that, actually introspected for a couple of days, and then came to the conclusion that I want to work in a startup. I want to work in a startup where I can be on my feet. I can do 100 different things.
Yeah.
Because that is very suited to my own personality, which is like I'm very curious about things. I love learning. I want to just try out different things. So it was a very good personality match, personally.
Yeah.
How startups are. And I think that internship was very important in the terms of making me realize that, because when I joined Mesa, I had in mind that, okay, I want to
I think you
switch
wanted
BC to
to.
that.
I think you wanted to do marketing when you came into Mesa, right? Was that? Do I remember it correctly?
So I was confused between VC and marketing, which is why I've switched pathways as well. I started with VC, I think in like term 1, that was the pathway that I chose. And then, for some reason, switched to marketing. And then again, like this opportunity came. So
Yeah.
felt like, okay, let me actually give it a shot instead of just theoretically deciding that if it's good or not. And then take a shot. And I think like,
So when you decided that you wanted to be in a startup, right, being
Yeah.
more in an operator role, what framework did you use? Like, you wanted to be in sustainability and related to climate, obviously.
correct.
How did you choose between, let's say, being a part of a very small, very early stage startup versus, let's say, slightly more mature or slightly more proven startup? Because I know you were speaking to a couple of
Correct.
startups at that point of time. All were very keen, obviously, to
Yeah.
hire you because of your prior experience and depth and passion about the space. So how did you? I know we had a lot of chat, but I think for the purpose of this chat, would love to
Absolutely.
bring that out as well.
So that was actually, a tough decision to take, because both the offers that I got, and, I was lucky enough for them to be inbound offers rather than me reaching out. So both were very, very attractive, in terms of, let's say, the stock options or the compensation, or even the role that I get to do, or the flexibility that I'll have in terms of deciding that, okay, how will my role evolve? Very interesting startups. And, I was so confused during that time that should it be A, should it be B? And I remember making like 10, 12 pointers and coming to you at that time that, hey, what should I choose? I'm just so confused. And there was this one, advice that you gave me at that time. And I think that has also stayed with me, that you can go on and on writing about the pros and cons of both, but write about what matters to you. What are those top 2 to 3 things that matter to you at this stage of life? Is it compensation? Is it the ability to build wealth? Is it the role? What is it? And once I started to think from that lens, I think the decision made itself very clear.
No, I think I'm glad it helped.
Yeah.
And now you've ended up joining a very small stage, very early stage
Right.
startup, which is is doing very well.
Right. I am the first hire in the business team. And that essentially means I get the front row view of how a startup is literally built from, when, let's say, we have some code in place to now, getting the marketing right, maybe getting, starting with content, several like pieces. I can literally be on the front row view of how it's all shaping up. How do the big companies that we see, it's like
So it's not just like a
-1 or
it's not just a floor level seat. You're actually playing.
Absolutely. Like everything. I mean, I think at this point, I'm the segue between various verticals that we have. I mean, internally, all they say is that if you don't know who to reach out to, just reach out to Akshata. She'll know. So I think it's a very satisfying job, I'll say, to be in.
No, I think it's always very meaningful and I would say fulfilling to us when we hear people from Mesa having great time in their roles. So that means that we have done our job and, they're on to do great things.
True.
So, I mean, is it fair to say that, we started by saying that Mesa, what excited or what attracted you to Mesa was the skill gaps it could fill and the kind of like-minded network and friend group it could provide you with, along with your experiences here, right? From starting a small business to trying to start a business to doing a VC internship and then finally deciding to going into a very early stage startup. Would you say that it's not just about filling the right skill gaps, it's also about providing you with the right space to experiment, trying to figure out almost rediscover yourself, what matters to you at this point of time, and how should you go about it? Like, is that fair to say?
Absolutely. I would definitely agree to that because in this space, you're not left alone. There would be support from all ends. If you're confused between MSL versus a job, there are people who will guide you on that. If you've decided that you want to go for a job, there'll be some of the best career coaches who will prep you up for the interview, who will, make sure that you're ready for the role that you want to go for. And besides that, the support that even you get from the friends and the network that you make over here. I think just the other day, a lot is happening on the work front. So there was this one piece which was, very time sensitive. And I reached out to the alumni group and instantly there was someone, who helped out and it was all sorted.
Yeah.
So I think that is one very crucial thing to have, just to have that support which empowers you to have that network. And in all of those things, I think Mesa has helped so much to experiment, to realize, to, have a sounding board always in place and to, really help you get the best outcome you can right now.
Yeah. No, glad to hear that. Have you started thinking about already what you want to do in the next 3 years, 5 years, or is it too soon to start thinking about that? Or was it already part of the plan when you decided on what to do?
So I think it's already, a rough roadmap is in mind that, okay, for these many years, I would like to do this and then it'll translate into me being a founder, all of that. But I think things are subject to change. So I'm just trying to enjoy the present and enjoy the moment instead of, thinking too much about the future. But having a rough roadmap helps. At least you have your North Star.
Absolutely. I think that's the right way to put it. Having some direction.
Correct.
And then not worry. And then maybe some loose idea of the destination and some rough idea of the timeline, but not being too fussed about it. So, when I moved back to India from US, I had this plan that I just start in a few years, but then it took a few years longer. And in hindsight, I think it was better that I waited for a few more years because to your point earlier, I don't think I was ready enough.
Yeah.
I'm still learning a lot. Even now, I'm still learning a lot. So I think you have to maximize the chances of success and what you do in the future, right? And if you're already enjoying what you're doing, then, just keep doing more of that because then you're obviously learning a lot. And, switching gears to, so I'm sure, a lot of students reach out to you now who are applying to Mesa. What advice do you give them? According to you, what sort of folks should apply to Mesa and what sort of folks should not apply to Mesa? Because, as you know, we are very selective.
Yeah.
We want to keep it small for as long as possible. So what's your view there? This will also help our viewers a bit.
So one thing that I tell most of them is if you just think that this is, a means to get a job, you might not want to be in this place because beyond it only being, let's say, a great pathway to you getting the job of your, whatever you desire. I think it's a place where you should only come if you want to learn, if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to get out of your comfort zone. Because if the only outcome is that, hey, I want to get a job, I always tell them that, just maybe keep trying for 4, 5, 6 months, maybe something you want will come by. But if you want to be really good at your job, or if you want to really understand that this is what I want to do and prepare for that, I think then this is the place to be. And I don't think that, if you're just looking for an MBA tag or just an easy way to get by, you should come here because that's not how it will be.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. You will have few sleepless nights. You will be, challenged. There will be multiple deliverables, but one thing I can promise is at the end of the tunnel, you will come out a much, much better and resourceful individual.
Well, great. I think that's very, very good advice. Any other parting words of advice you would have for anybody who is applying or thinking of applying to Mesa?
I think first would be that reflect, why do you want to be here? Really understand your reasons. And this goes for any MBA program. If you're going abroad, do you want to relocate? Do you want to, pivot into a different career? And, again, like same, if you're planning to come to Mesa, what exactly is it are you seeking? Are you just looking to bump up your compensation? Are you looking to, land a great job? Or are you ready? Are you looking to maybe prepare yourself for the next decade of your life? And
Maybe even start a startup here.
exactly.
Some of your cohort mates are actually now working full time on their own startups, right?
So I think I'll just tell them that have your reasons in place and have it right. You do not need to know everything just yet, but at least, be open to having your opinions and assumptions challenged, because a lot of mine were. And like be agile, be flexible. And as long as you're doing that, I think you are set up for some good success at Mesa.
Great. Thank you, Akshita. Thank you
Thank you so
for
much.
being here. Always a pleasure to have you back on the campus.
Thank you.